What was the most unusual request you've had from a client?
Oh! Come to my home and shit in my mouth.
I've been doing this for 6 years, so I wouldn't know where to start.
Not the weirdest, like it's fine. I'm not here to king shame, but like just a bit far for me.
Me now, nothing shocks me, nothing's unusual. That was his thing. He was happy and then he left.
I don't ever think anything's unusual. I've been asked a lot of things. I've done a lot of things. I love making someone's fantasy come real.
Fuck, there's been so many, I can't even think. Well, a lot of them have done stuff to me, they wanted to see me feeling pain or tortured. There was one guy that was really into balls, and I just thought that meant licking them, smelling them or whatever, but nah. He was fucking me from behind and he was squeezing my balls really tight. I was in full severe pain to the max. So imagine getting fucked in the ass and someone grabbing your balls really tight. You're screaming like a fucking bitch. And he pulls my head back and goes, every time you fucking scream, I'm gonna squeeze harder. So I was already in pain and I was screaming and he's squeezing so hard. I was like, fuck!
The weirdest one and the one that made me the sickest was, it's called pet play, where people want their pet to join in. That was a request via email. I didn't respond, obviously.
I've had people that like being urinated on. I've had people who like to role play as me being the dad or them being a dog. There's a wide, but that's sex. Do you know what I mean? Some people like to get tied up. Some people like to get blindfolded. Some people like to get domineered, which means that you're quite, I wouldn't say aggressive, but do you know what I mean? Once you do it, you get used to it and you enjoy it. It's it's not on me, it's on them. Do you know what I mean? But it does. I start really getting into it as well.
Yeah, that was full on. I was like, okay, so now I understand that whole ball torture thing, which I'm really into, by the way, now. My boyfriend does it to me all the time. He punches me and slaps me there. But that was a request that was brand new to me, and I was like, okay, so are you getting off on this, torturing the shit out of me? I kind of enjoyed it because it was kind of hot, looking back at him and his eyes were rolling back. I was like, hot. I'm servicing this daddy well. You know what I mean? It was good. That was an odd request. People may think, nah, that's not, but back then it was. I do videos of me getting my balls punched and squeezed where I'm tied to a chair and I have no control. That turns me on so much.
Oh! Come to my home and shit in my mouth. And, when you think about it, it's not unusual. It's just it's not unusual. It's not my job. There is some people that do this job, maybe some dominatrix. It's just that it's not my job, so don't ask me to do that. That's it.
He had a food fetish. So he brought in a chocolate cake and he wanted me to just sit on the chocolate cake, my butt, just splat. and then just put the cake all over him. That was it. There was no sex involved, nothing. It was literally just smushing the cake with my butt and then putting the cake all over him, in his hair, in his face, everywhere. Just cover him. That was his thing. He was happy and then he left.
I have not done it, but I have been asked to do scat porn and stuff like that. It's definitely too much for me and it's out of my limits. But yeah, that's probably the most not the weirdest. It's fine. I'm not here to king shame, but just a bit far for me. Yeah.
For me to urinate on them. I don't know if that's a new thing that's come about. The foot fetish thing, yeah, that's whatever. But the urination. And I don't feel very comfortable with it, but then I told him logistically, if I get caught on camera peeing on you all over the floor of my club, I'm probably gonna get fired.
It's not that unusual for the industry, but I do sometimes get guys that want to take your shoes off and sniff your shoes while they're dirty. Stripper shoes are disgusting as well, and lick your feet.
Another odd one I've had with clients is people have booked me to turn up and they've got an underwear fetish, and then they'll rifle through their drawers and then they'll And I've gone home with like 50 pairs of underwear at the end of the booking, plus $5,000 because that's how long the booking's been for. But so what was originally a 2-hour thing becomes a 10-hour booking, and I go home with nearly $3,000 worth of designer underwear because the client wants me to parade it around the bedroom. It's like, oh, I just want to book you to wear hot underwear and I'm going to lay on the bed and jerk off and watch you do that. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's like the easiest booking ever. Plus I'm getting a wardrobe fit out in the process.
I really love that, like just seeing them happy and being themselves and not have to feel like they've got to hide it or be embarrassed.
I've had like one recently that I didn't go through with the booking because of this. Essentially, they wanted me to cockle their male, like their husband, and I was like, yeah, I can understand, that's all fine. There was like a lot of discussion and working through, like this isn't just going to be something that I rock up, we do the thing and leave. It's going to be discussions. There's going to be like barriers that are brought up that we're going to be needing to work through. There's going to be other things that we're going to have to be like, these are firm lines that we do not cross, that kind of stuff. But she wasn't having any of that when I was chatting with her. She was just like, started talking quite derogatory and being like, oh, and kept, I don't know why she kept referring to, like, she was like, are you Aussie? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm Aussie. Like, you found me in Australia on my site. And then kept referring to it as Aussie men, like being like, oh, real Aussie men, and bringing stuff up. And one of the things she said was like, because she was like, oh yeah, I want you to like have him tied up and like make him watch us have sex, and then you can like fuck him and stuff. I'm like, I won't be doing that. No. And then she was like, okay, like, and then she said like, I heard real Aussie men don't use condoms. Like, you won't be using that with me. And I was like, I absolutely will be. Like, this is where it's at. And just that kind of stuff, and just those sorts of things, those sorts of requests for me. I know that wasn't like really probably where viewers and stuff wanted the answer to be. Like, they probably wanted like, oh, what's this weird thing? But for me, that's the weird thing, is when people push those boundaries, just create that level of disrespect right off the bat, whether it's for me, whether it's for themselves, whether it's for their partner.
Hey, my name is Daniel Dalloway. I produced this mini-series. I'd first like to give a big thank you to everybody that agreed to be interviewed for it. I couldn't have done it without your support. If you'd like to watch the uncut interviews, head on over to Patreon. Otherwise, subscribe on YouTube or follow on Instagram, whichever you prefer. And I'll see you for the next episode, which will be hopefully in a week. All right, see you later.